A $7 million tiara vanishes from Windsor after an exhibition, gone forever. But how is that even possible? Thousands of visitors saw this stunning piece. Guards watched it constantly. Photographers captured it from every angle. Then it disappeared from Windsor without explanation. What happened right after the exhibition closed? Who saw the tiara last? Why does the royal family stay silent about where it is now? The real story behind this treasure turns out to be nothing like the official version. Our story begins over a century ago, 1919. Europe was just recovering from the Great War when, in the legendary workshops of Boucheron in Paris, craftsmen created a piece that would outshine everything before it. Master jewelers bent over their workbenches, handling stones so rare that finding anything similar would be nearly impossible. Let's break this down. What makes a piece of jewelry truly priceless? It's not just carats and clarity. It's the history connecting generations. It's the secrets of royal families and the stories of women bold enough to wear a genuine treasure. Picture this: a platinum frame covered in diamonds, classic brilliant cuts mixed with rose cuts, creating light play that's impossible to look away from. 6 large emeralds positioned on both sides. But the real showstopper sits right in the center. An emerald weighing 93.7 carats. Try to imagine this stone. It's nearly the size of a walnut, deep green, without a single flaw. The Boucheron masters chose the kokoshnik shape, a traditional Russian headdress incredibly popular at the imperial court. This wasn't just a design choice. It was a mark of high society, a nod to connections with the most powerful families in Europe. And here, our first heroine enters the story. Margaret Greville, the honorable dame whose name opened doors to every palace across the continent. A society maven, salon hostess where the fate of empires was decided over tea, a woman whose jewelry collection made even royals envious. This masterpiece was created for her. The kokoshnik tiara became part of her legendary emerald collection. But here's what's fascinating. Despite all her wealth and opportunities, Greville wore this tiara just once, a single appearance captured in a photograph. 1937. A concert at the Austrian Embassy in London. Celebrations for King George VI's coronation swept through the city. High society gathered to celebrate the new monarch's ascension to the throne. And on this very evening, Margaret Greville appeared in full splendor. The emerald tiara crowned her hair. Around her neck, several emerald necklaces at once, each priceless on its own. In her ears, emerald earrings that sparkled under the chandeliers. The look was so dazzling that the press talked about nothing else for days. Then something interesting happened. After that memorable evening, the tiara seemed to vanish. Greville continued attending social events, continued wearing her jewels, but nobody saw the kokoshnik again. Why? Documents from that time stay silent. Perhaps the piece was too grand even for her. Perhaps she was saving it for a special occasion that never came. The next owner changed the piece's fate forever. 1942. Margaret Greville passes away, and the most intriguing part of our story begins. Her will becomes a sensation. The entire jewelry collection, every piece worth more than £100 sterling, goes to Queen Elizabeth. Not to a daughter, not to a niece, not to a relative. To the Queen. The most important part was yet to come. When Queen Elizabeth learned about the inheritance, she immediately wrote a letter to Queen Mary. These lines survive, and they reveal so much emotion it's hard to believe they were written by a monarch. I must tell you that Mrs. Greville has left me her jewels. She left them to me with her loving thoughts, my dear old lady, and I am deeply touched. Notice the tone. This isn't an official notification. This is an excited message from a woman who received an unexpected gift from a friend. The Queen continues, I don't think I shall see what they consist of for a long time, because of the slowness of lawyers, death duties, and so on, but still quite exciting to be left something, and I admire beautiful stones with all my heart. Reading these words, you realize even queens can eagerly await gifts like ordinary people. Slow lawyers, endless taxes, bureaucracy spares no one, not even monarchs. But after a few months, the wait ended. Now here's where it gets really interesting. Picture the royal chambers. They bring in a large black trunk with initials. The queen opens it, and before her unfolds a treasury any museum in the world would envy. The Greville diamond tiara, the Greville emerald kokoshnik tiara, a festoon necklace, diamond chandelier earrings, so massive and brilliant they could light up an entire room, emerald earrings, a ruby necklace, 2 emerald necklaces, each unique, ivy leaf clips with work so delicate they look like real leaves covered in diamond dewdrops, a diamond bow brooch, a pair of pearl earrings. And that's only what the press managed to learn. Photographs captured the important moment when they opened the trunk with witnesses present. But it turned out the collection held other pieces too. Earrings, necklaces, brooches, bracelets. Their sizes and values were never publicly revealed. To this day, nobody knows exactly what's stored in the royal vaults. The press naturally created a real sensation. Newspapers blazed with headlines about the incredible inheritance. Everyone tried to estimate the collection's value. The figures named were astronomical. The royal family stayed silent, which only fueled interest. A decade later, the situation changed, but not as everyone expected. The real turning point came later. The emerald kokoshnik tiara entered the royal collection in 1942. And you know what happened next? Absolutely nothing. The piece simply vanished from view. 76 years. More than 7 decades the tiara stayed in the royal vaults, and nobody saw it. Why? A question every royal jewelry expert asked. There were plenty of ceremonial occasions. Coronations, weddings, state visits. Queen Elizabeth wore other tiaras, displayed other pieces from the Greville collection. But the kokoshnik remained untouched. Perhaps the piece was considered too grand. Perhaps its style didn't suit the fashion of the time. Or maybe it was simply waiting for its moment. Waiting for the one person who could wear it with dignity. Fashion changed. The 60s brought minimalism. The 70s, brightness and extravagance. The 80s and 90s returned to classics. The 2000s brought eclecticism, and the tiara lay in its velvet box, preserving its beauty and mystery. Jewels passed through generations, from queen to princesses, from princesses to their daughters. Each piece found its owner. Only the kokoshnik remained in shadow. And now we reach the main event, October 12, 2018. Windsor Castle. St. George's Chapel prepares for a royal wedding. Princess Eugenie, Queen Elizabeth's granddaughter, is marrying Jack Brooksbank. The whole world holds its breath, wondering what dress will the princess choose? What jewelry will she wear? A Rolls-Royce Phantom from 1977 pulls up to the castle. The door opens. Princess Eugenie steps out of the car, and thousands of flashes light up her appearance. On her head, the Greville emerald kokoshnik tiara. 76 years of silence ended at that very moment. The piece last seen in 1937 sparkled again under the camera lights. The dress by designers Peter Pilotto and Christopher DeVos perfectly complemented the tiara. Modern cut with an open back, displaying the princess's surgical scar, a bold statement of self-acceptance. And yet on her head, a century-old piece, a symbol of royal history. The combination was flawless. The antique tiara didn't look out of place. On the contrary, it emphasized the connection between eras, linking past and present. The green emeralds caught the sunlight. Diamonds sparkled with the princess's every movement. But that's not all. In Princess Eugenie's ears, diamond and emerald earrings, a wedding gift from her groom. Jack Brooksbank chose pieces that harmonized perfectly with the tiara, as if he knew in advance that his bride would wear the Greville Kokoshnik. 3 major emeralds in the look, the tiara's center stone and 2 in the earrings. Green, symbolizing hope, loyalty, and new life. The diamonds surrounding the emeralds created a unified composition. Every detail was thought through. The tiara choice wasn't random. Princess Eugenie could have worn any piece from the royal collection, dozens of tiaras, each with its own history. But she chose this one, the Kokoshnik that spent nearly a century in shadow. Experts valued the tiara at more than $7 million. But is it really just about price? This piece survived world wars. It witnessed the fall of empires and the birth of new nations. It belonged to a society maven of the pre-war era, became part of the royal collection during World War II, and finally found its new owner in the 21st century. For a royal wedding, this was the perfect choice. Not just a beautiful piece, but a symbol of continuity. Princess Eugenie, wearing her great-great-grandmother's tiara, showed that traditions live on, history continues, and love of beauty passes through generations. What happened next is a whole different story. Spring 2019. Windsor Castle opens an exhibition. The wedding outfits of Princess Eugenie and Prince Harry with Meghan Markle go on public display. Dresses, veils, shoes, and of course, jewels. The Greville Emerald Kokoshnik tiara took pride of place behind bulletproof glass. Beside it, the wedding earrings, the groom's gift. Thousands of visitors lined up to see these treasures with their own eyes. Photography was forbidden, but descriptions filled every society column. People stood for several minutes before the display case, examining every emerald, every diamond. Guards made sure nobody lingered too long, as there were too many eager viewers. The exhibition was a resounding success. But then they closed the exhibition. The jewels returned to the royal vaults. And since then, nobody has seen them. So what's the real story? Where is the legendary tiara stored now? In a secure vault at Buckingham Palace? Or in the tower next to other crown jewels? Or maybe in some secret location known only to a select few? The royal family doesn't comment on the whereabouts of their jewels. It's a security matter. But it's also a question of mystery, which makes the pieces even more captivating. Will we see the tiara again? Perhaps at the next royal wedding. Perhaps in decades when Princess Eugenie's grandchildren celebrate their own occasions. Or maybe the piece will retreat into shadow again for many years, keeping its secrets. One thing's certain, every appearance of this tiara becomes an event. The story continues, and we all wait with bated breath for the next chapter. So there's the whole truth. The tiara didn't disappear in the literal sense. It simply returned where it belongs. To the royal vaults under secure protection. No theft, no mystery. The exhibition just ended, and they took the piece back. But you have to admit, the tiara's own story is far more captivating than any made-up tale. A century-long journey through wars, royal families, and generations. Isn't that worthy of admiration? Enjoyed learning the real story? Then leave a like. It helps the channel grow. Hit the bell to be first to discover new secrets of royal jewels. And definitely subscribe. So many incredible stories ahead that sound like legends but turn out to be real. Until we meet again with stories that amaze.